Welcome back here to the Mountain Morning Show. Thanks for staying with us. Right now, I'm joined by a great friend of the station, Lavonne Wells Sandberg, who is a life and grief coach, here to talk about some springtime spiritual cleaning. We talk a lot about springtime home cleaning, but we don't consider what we need to do to kind of cleanse ourselves as well. Lavonne, how are you doing?
Good.
Always a pleasure to have you here on the show. Love all of your great insights and information. Right now, we're going to be talking about springtime spiritual cleaning. So what does that mean?
Just taking a look at your life and just seeing those things that no longer serve your highest, the things that causes contention, the things that causes uneasiness, the things that you've been dealing with year after year after year, and you're at that point where you're just hitting that wall. And it literally feels like you're hitting a wall.
So it's the same thing as spring cleaning of your home.
Absolutely.
Not using this certain thing that I want to get rid of that's just taking up space at this point and kind of maybe a negative impact to my home. It's the same look. You internalize and you look into what you think is really benefiting you as a person and maybe what's holding you back, right?
But you know what's really beautiful? The simple fact that we spring clean our homes is so symbolic of the work, the inner work gets to be done as well. So as you clean your home, you know, you're literally moving energy. You're literally moving those things that no longer, you know, they just take up space.
Yeah.
And it's clutter.
Stagnation, right?
So at some level, yes. So at some level, your spirit already knows we get to do this for us because you're literally in your home doing it in your own closets.
Sprucing up and mixing up the energy in your home and kind of getting that feeling of being clean and back on top again, right?
And energized.
And energized,
yeah,
that's important.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good distinction because with those long winter months and of us being trapped inside a lot of the time and not spending a lot of time outside, the energy levels can kind of start to get a little bit lower and stagnant, as we said, stagnant. And as we all know, stagnation is the first step to loss of life, you know? All life happens through fluid and movement. So
absolutely.
So
loss of life force.
Loss of life force. I like that even better.
You start feeling sick, do a nice little spring cleaning. You know, it literally
mix things up.
Yeah.
So what benefits do you think that this has aside from kind of uplifting that energy? What else does it benefit us as humans?
In making decisions that actually work. You know, have a clear mind, stay focused on your goals, you know, or the things you choose to do differently in your life. It literally creates expansion within you. That idea, all of a sudden, I want to do something different. I want to do something new today, something I've never done before. I mean, it starts to get those creative vibes, those flows just going, you know.
So kind of thinking outside the box in a way. And I actually heard a quote just recently from someone that I really appreciated, and it was, don't think outside the box, live outside the box, right? And I think that this comes along with that, and mixing things up and challenging ourselves to try new things and to kind of always be on our toes, right?
Exactly. And this is one sure way of knowing that you deserve a soul or a spiritual cleansing, so to speak. Decluttering all this is a sign of, I don't know, when people start to question themselves as far as why am I here? Or they start to question themselves as, is this relationship worth it? I feel like I'm going nowhere quick. I'm hitting that wall. I'm outside of myself. I mean, you're asking questions like that, or you just aren't getting things done. There's procrastination. Stagnation creates procrastination, or however you want to switch those words up. But that's literally what creates procrastination, is the stagnant energy that's going on. You know?
And with that stagnation, there's no motivation. There's no, I mean, I've been there before. I've had those stagnant moments where it's like, all I want to do is sit here and I don't want to get up. But you can change that easily just by mixing a few things up. And I think I love that connection you made between the symbology of physically cleaning your home and spiritually cleaning, and the metaphor of the spiritual cleansing that kind of comes along with that, right?
Absolutely.
So even taking small steps of just kind of organizing your desk in front of you
shifts everything.
Everything.
You gain new insight. You go into, I don't know about anybody else, but most of my inspiration is when I'm in the shower, I'm in the bathroom, but usually I'm cleaning up the little sink area, I'm organizing my jewelry or my makeup or something like that, and I get great ideas. But that's usually when I'm moving something or I'm doing something and I'm not really thinking this is why I'm doing that, but it just happens.
It just happens. I feel like that is conducive for that creative spirit and energy, right? I did want to talk about, we've talked a lot about kind of cleaning out maybe habits and stuff like that. Let's talk about relationships though, because it can be hard for people to cut ties with people that maybe aren't the best for them, right? Maybe the
And why do
relationship
you
isn't
think they're
beneficial
doing
to
that?
each other.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Why do I think that they're not able to disconnect? It's comfort, I think. A lot of it has to do with the comfort of having that person around. I think a lot of it has to do with the security as well as the fact of just not wanting to. Yeah, it's easy. It's not hard to go through that breakup and have to maybe go separate ways with someone, right?
That's a good
that can be very, very hard.
That's a good point. What's comfortable about it?
Yeah.
What's easy about it? You know, and that's where we come to that point where sometimes the pain just isn't enough to get them to do something different. Usually when the pain is great, they'll do something about it.
What about people who are empaths, who are very empathetic people, who maybe aren't considering like us. Yeah, rock on, right?
We own it.
We own it. No, really though. I mean, I think a lot of what happens to me when I've had experiences with friendships in the past that maybe weren't beneficial to me by any means, but I was afraid of what that person was going to think of me not wanting to be their friend anymore. I was afraid of how they were going to feel above what I was concerned about my own feelings, my own well-being. Can we talk about that a little bit? How can someone who's that empathetic or empathetic in that nature get over that and be able to realize that, hey, this is maybe not just beneficial to me, but beneficial to the both of us?
Absolutely. So it's just one of those things where, again, the work comes from within. You know, if I'm more concerned about how the other person feels by me staying or leaving the relationship, I got a couple of issues I need to take care of, because again, I'm looking for validation. Again, there's maybe a little bit of codependency going on. Again, there's a lot of different things that are playing out in that moment. So it's for me to look at the relationship and say, is this serving me and is this serving them? You know, by me playing a bit, because I think a lot of times if we stay in relationships that are no longer working, we know it's time to get out. We're playing pretty small. There is some point where we know or we realize I'm holding this person back. If we really want to be empathic about it and we really want to be caring and
that's
concerned,
the true empathy, right?
Yeah, that's the true empathy.
True empathy
because empathy doesn't mean lie down and take it.
Yeah.
You know, being an empath doesn't take all the energies of the world and take care of everybody else. It means I feel what's going on. So in this moment, I'm going to sit with myself. I'm going to put a blessing on that, or a good thought on that, or an affirmation on that. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths and I'm going to release it and give it back. I felt it for a reason, but I also know it's not for me to keep it.
That's important.
Absolutely important,
Huge.
especially for the empaths. Because people will say all the time, because I'm an empath, this is what happens to me. And oh my gosh, I'm an empath. Okay, great. Now, as an empath, where does your true power lie? Your true power lies in the ability to feel, sense, you know, pick up on, take on the energy. But it's coming to you for a reason. It's coming for you to literally go within, center yourself, ground yourself into what's true for you, and then send that back out. Excellent. In a more positive way, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. That makes great sense. And we only have a little less than a minute here left. I just want to talk about the other side of relationships, the people that really matter in our lives, the people who are really beneficial to us, the people that we truly, truly care about. What are some ways that we can kind of detach from this social media world that we seem to be so involved with and tap back into this personal connection, right? You told me advice of just writing personal handwritten letters and small stuff like that really is what matters.
Thank you cards need to come back in style. You know, just that written word. The written word.
The show that you've taken the time personally to sit down and write that letter is huge, right?
And there's so much power in that. And taking that action step. It's an action step, you know. But as far as the social media and reconnecting, shut it down.
Take some time away.
Take some time away. I set up new boundaries for myself this week. It actually starts this week, where I'm only allowed to be on my Facebook, my social media on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I am not on social media. And my friends think I'm nuts because all of my business comes through my social media and all of my referrals.
But you're kind of leading by example, I think, and that's the best way
I get to stay sane so that I could be of service to other folks. As an empath, you know, I require energy. We all require energy. So to be on there all the time is consuming. And it takes away from, it's draining, yes, and it takes away from the true purpose of me being there for others. and serving in the capacity that I'm able to serve.
Well, you do a great job at that, Lavonne.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Where can people keep up to date with everything that's happening with you and all the public speaking that you do and all of that?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was like, I'm not on social media as much, but on my website, so LavonneWells.com.
Okay.
That's Lavonne Wells, WELLS.com.
Thank you so much, Lavonne.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Always.
Always a pleasure to have you on, and you give some really great advice. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll be right back to continue here on the Mountain Morning Show right after this. Don't go anywhere.